All right, everybody, we are live again, Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. And today I have a special guest on with us. This is the second time this week, Holip.
Is it?
It's the second you were on Monday.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, this is the
Yep.
second time this week. So today's special guest is the brother Holip Sism. And today's topic is the three critical eras of Black Power Americans. Holip, I'm going to let you go ahead and start off because I love to hear your thoughts on this topic and in which direction we're gonna go with.
Okay. Well, first is the people who listen to me and see my videos probably know these distinctions, but there might be some people that's listening that never heard these terms before. And I break up the so-called conscious cultural community into three different categories. Um, I've used other names, but this basically sums it up. It's like you got the Black Power Americans, you have the Captain America Negroes who aren't really part of the conscious community. Let me correct that. They're not really a part of the conscious community, but they have a, a loud minority in the discussion.
Hold up, can I cut you off? Can you please give me an example of a Captain American Negro?
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh God, okay.
That's when they have totally picked a side, and the side is America and the white man.
Okay.
And they will cut a nigger's. Oh, Jesse Lee Peterson. What's that guy? Sheriff Clark.
Sheriff Clark.
Yeah. I
Anthony.
would say those are probably the two best examples because you can literally feel the hatred for black people coming off of it, and it's real.
Right.
I don't think that it's fake. Like especially Clark. Clark has actually killed people. Seriously, dude is actually like committed murder. There's been like three, I think three people that died in his custody. He had one person starve, like no, they died of thirst.
Right.
Um, he let a pregnant woman lose her baby. He's a real, so he's a real piece of shit.
Right.
So that's the Captain America Negro. They're not really in the conscious community, but they always all up in our discussions. Then you got the militant integrationists. I would put in that category Roland Martin and Boyce Watkins. Um, who else? Um,
Uh,
hmm,
and,
I would use those as an example. I think that's the best example of it. There's probably people who fall in there, but what makes somebody a militant integrationist is separate from the next category, which is the Black Power American.
okay, go ahead.
Militant integrationist has no intentions of a nation within a nation. They have no intentions of starting a nation overseas. They're not even thinking about nationhood. They want to fight for equality in the white man's system. And their biggest issue is that they're not treated equally. So they usually engage in what they call identity politics. Um, they usually try to guilt white people. Like they play the race card and they try to show the white people's, like they want to live in America. They don't want to leave America, but they want to um, have, I guess, a separate class of America. Like they want to be like a totally distinct group within America. They don't want to merge into invisibility with the dominant culture. So
Hmm.
that's the militant integrationist. And then we have probably the one who I get into it with the most is the Black Power American.
Okay. Now, as
Black
far
Power.
as
Okay, go ahead.
the previous I guess, group. Would that be like a Van Jones, Michael Eric Dyson types, or no?
Wait, say that again.
The previous group you just named, would it be like a Van Jones or Michael
Yes,
Eric Dyson,
those are all militant integrationists.
Cornell West?
Yep,
Like, okay,
militant
got
integrationists.
you, got
They
you,
have
got
no
you.
intention. If you go to them talking about land infrastructure nationhood, they will look at you sideways. Like
Right.
what?
Hmm.
No intention of having any type of socioeconomic and political power. They want to They want to be equal with white folks. That's their goal. That's their end game. They never officially said that, but that's what they really want. Bear with me 1 second, Diness.
And shout out to Brian Cole for the super chat. I bless Brother Phil today and will bless this platform as well, Dinus. Y'all brothers keep up the good work, fam. We need these platforms for the community. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Brother Brian Cole. I appreciate it. We still got to get you on here as well.
Okay, I'm back.
Go ahead.
Yeah, all of those cats. And keep in mind, I'm not making a value judgment. This is just defining who they are objectively. And then we have the Black Power American.
Mm-hmm.
Black Power American is usually now the only difference between them and the militant integration is the Black Power American definitely wants to have their own thing, but they want to have it here in America. They don't want to go to the continent. Black Power Americans usually have Africa all up in their brand. You know, they'll call it African this, Africans doing this, Africans blah 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 blah. But then when you say, "Wow, so why don't we go to Africa?" No, you crazy?
Right.
Africa.
Right.
I'm like, well, wait a minute. Well, how come you keep talking about Africa and how beautiful Africa is, and we got to learn about our African history, Africa, 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 Africa. But when you say let's go to Africa, then they're like, whoa, whoa, slow down, son.
Is this the we built America?
Right,
We built America as slaves, so we
right.
have just as much right to this nation as everybody else. Is
Exactly.
that
That's
who
a
I'm
Black
thinking of?
Power American.
Okay,
Black
gotcha.
Power Americans, unlike the militant integrationists, they don't want to assimilate into American culture, but they still want to stay here. It's like a crackhead who wants to not do crack, but he wants to live in a crack house.
Right, right, right. Like on like on like so. Say I was Nino Brown and you were Pookie, right?
Right.
And you wanted to, I gave you a job at what was it? Star. What was the crack house in New Jack City?
I'm drawing a blank.
The Star Trek airplane, the Star Trek spaceship. You know,
Oh, the Enterprise.
the Enterprise. Yeah, I think it was called the Enterprise. The name of his crack house. So you're, I give you a job. I let you allow you to work. You know, you're still around the crack house, but you just can't smoke the crack.
Right.
But you know
That's
what ends
it.
up happening, Holip? The
What?
crackhead ends up smoking the crack.
Of course. Of course. Just like they constantly contradict themselves. It's like I've seen Black Power Americans go to rallies, right?
Mhm.
And they'll take a break from the rally after talking about the white man or whatever, and then they'll go into McDonald's. You know, they'll go to McDonald's and get a break, and they'll talk about Black Power and the devil and white man and da da da, and then they order their food. And then go right back to the protest or the rally like nothing even happened. So they are probably out of between the militant integrationists and the black, because the Captain America Negro has picked a side. So I really got a problem with him, and you rarely hear me talking about him.
Right.
The militant integrationists, um, they're delusional, but they have a lot of critical information. Like they have good information, and they probably of the three are probably the most educated, but they have Stockholm syndrome and they have no desire to form something of their own. Like them, if you go to a black militant integrationist and tell them that you want to form a nation or to join the BAIO, they will look at you like you're crazy. And we've actually done it. Like one of the brothers, Max 611 from In the Paint, approach Boyce Watkins. Or was it Boyce Watkins or Roland Martin? One of them about the
Same difference.
BAIO.
Same difference.
Yeah. And they was like, what? Go to Africa? Like it was just total. It was like you speaking Mandarin Chinese to them.
Right.
So I'm concentrating today on the Black Power American.
Hmm.
So I hope everybody got those distinctions and they understand when I say them, they're not the same. They're not the same. It's just different versions of people with Stockholm syndrome. So that's the explanation of the Black Power American. Now, What is the number one critical
And bro,
error?
here we go. God, let me just go ahead and hate to cut you off and
Mhm.
stop your flow, your flow of thought. But J Norm 888, Negro stalling tactic, bandit, the Negro stalling tactic bandit in the chat room. What makes you think the United States won't control whatever you create in Africa? Do you know what a vessel state is? Thus, it's delusional to think that integration is wrong. We have a Negro stalling tactic, white man is Thanos, all packaged up in one. Do you want to address that, Holip?
Well, actually, you just did. The white
Okay.
man, the
All
white
right.
man, the white man is Thanos. The white man has the Infinity Gauntlet and all the stones. He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. It's actually the white man is controlling China. The white man is actually in control of China. It's just the Chinese being in control of their own land is just the front.
Mm-hmm.
White man is in control of North Korea. White man is in control of India. All of this. These people are just in charge as window dressing. The white man is in control of all nations on the face of the earth. He's also in control of Mars. He's in control of Jupiter. He's in control of Saturn. If you go to Asgard, he's in control there. He's in control of Wakanda. T'Challa is just the front. T'Challa is just the front.
Right.
So we've heard this before. It's nothing new. We know, like you said, it's just a classic Negro stalling tactic. Because my thing is, what I want to ask, what's his name?
B Norm, that was his name. J Norm 888.
J Norm 888. Why don't you just be the white man's bitch? That's a better question. If the white man controls everything, why are you fighting him? Or maybe I'm being presumptuous. Are you still fighting him? Are you still resisting the white man and trying to get some socioeconomic and political power for your own people? Or have you um, submitted and decided that you want to join the winning team? Which one? Which one?
He says the United States had nuclear weapons and China has nuclear weapons. Blacks need to integrate so that we can change our foreign policy.
We who? Who are you talking about?
I guess me and you, Holip, are us in general.
Yeah, what we are you referring to when you say blacks need to integrate so that we can change our foreign policy? Last time I checked, black folks don't have no government. Black folks don't have anybody that they represented to leadership. So who are you talking about? What? But you know what? He just made a segue into one of the three.
Oh, go ahead and continue.
Number one, critical error that this guy just exhibited. I don't even know his name, Jay Bourne, whatever. I don't know. Who is we? That's the number one critical error of the Black Power American. How do you create solutions for a we, us, and our that doesn't exist? And I think we need to really just can I read that question again? Maybe I'll put it in the chat room so that people can
Yeah,
look
go
at it
ahead. I
and
mean, the
process.
floor is yours. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
I'll put it in the chat room so people can look at it and process what that question is because it's a deep question. I keep hearing people talking about we this. We need to do that. The problem with black folks is that black folks don't do this. The problem with black folks is that we don't have knowledge about this. Blah 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 blah. Oh, just as an aside, can I say something to the chat room?
Go
Can
ahead.
I ask?
Go ahead.
I listened to the show and keep in mind I thought that the show that you did with the conservatives was a great show and I thought they were great guests. So I'm not disrespecting them in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was an excellent conversation. It's a conversation that we need to have.
Right.
So I want to preface what I'm about to say with that. But I was so proud of the chat room because I didn't get a chance to listen to the show live. But the people in the chat room were asking, and keep in mind, I'm not talking about the disrespectful stuff. I'm not down with that. But the chat room was actually asking the questions that I was screaming to ask while I was listening to the brother and the sister talk. Because this is critical. Like I said, the 3 critical errors. People keep talking about, we need to do this, we need to do that. But this is the point that I've made over and over and over again. On a socioeconomic and political level, there is no we. There is no us. There is no our. We keep referring to some vague abstraction as if it's a real thing. Now, keep in mind, we know Black people is real. We know that we're real. We're physically here. We are visible for all to see. But in terms of socioeconomic and political power, or any type of structure, we're basically an ad hoc nation. That's what Amos Wilson used to call us. We are a nation because people view us as a nation because we look the same. It's like I always say, we're a scattered group of individualists, and what aligns us is aesthetic similarities. So that's the only thing. It's loosely aligned. It's nothing organized. So it's disingenuous for somebody to talk about what we need to do until you actually establish the we. And the we is an organized structure. And they keep making this mistake, and I keep hearing this over and over and over again. When people want to come up with solutions, what they usually do is they say, oh, well, we need to do this. And the problem is we da da da. I'm going to use this analogy, Dinez, and I've used it before, but I think it's appropriate. If a hooker was to take the money that she got from sleeping with dudes and not give it to her pimp, she would be able to be self-sustaining. She could be able to take care of herself, right? In theory, right? Did I lose him? Is he there?
I'm right here. I have muted.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But the problem is she's a hooker. There's a reason why she's sleeping with strange dudes to begin with. So this is the problem. It's like we're trying to apply functional reasoning and logic and all of this stuff to a dysfunctional situation. Yeah, in theory, it makes sense that if the hooker was to sleep with the dudes.
Hold up, you need to repeat that again. I don't think people heard you. You need to repeat that one more time.
Oh, definitely. A hooker, you can logically say that if the hooker was to take the money that she made from sleeping with dudes, strange men, and not give it to her pimp and use the money and just for herself, that would be empowering for her. She could take that money and she can do what she had to do, and she would be self-sustaining. She wouldn't need a pimp. But the problem is you're dealing with a hooker, and there's a reason why the hooker is on the streets to begin with. There's a reason why the hooker is sleeping with strange dudes to begin with. So people want to ignore the mentality that has her out in the street sleeping with strange dudes and then try to apply a logical reason why she can empower herself in a fucking dysfunctional situation. I hope people got that. And that's what happens when you keep constantly referring to, we need to do this and we need to do that. Like there was an example when I was listening to the show, the brothers was talking about, and everything and what made it so frustrating, that everything that brother and that sister said was 100% correct in terms, if we just look at it objectively. Yes, if you live in your town, you should know who represents you in that town. You should know your local officials, local leaders. You should know all of that. Yes, you should. But the question that I wanted to ask Dinas is, why don't we? Are we just going to ignore that? It's easy to say what we should know. Why don't we know it?
You made a great point, and I'm going to guess because they're not protecting our best interests anyway, or they're not initiating the conversation, or if they do initiate the conversation or the contact, they're very disingenuous. I mean,
I'm not even talking about the people making the statement. I'm talking about, why don't the people themselves, the masses, know this information?
Right, exactly. That's a good question.
But they totally ignore that. I used to have these discussions all the time with friends of mine. Like they used to always talk about the black neighborhoods and the fact that they're not clean, that they don't take care of the neighborhood. And I say, yeah, that's true, but you're not understanding why they don't take care of the neighborhood. And this is not an excuse. This is factual. This is reality. When you build something with your own hands and you have a stake in it, you don't need police to come and tell everybody to act right. If let's say, for example, let's say we build a neighborhood in over in Angola, just for example. We build it. Everybody in that neighborhood played a part in building, whether they physically helped build it or whether they organized it, but they played a part in the development of that neighborhood. Now, let's say somebody comes strolling through the neighborhood and they decide that they're going to throw a soda can out on the streets. Do we need to call a cop?
No.
Who's going to regulate? The people that built it is going to regulate. They're going to say, whoa, you can't do that shit in our place because it's theirs. They played a hand in building it, and so they want to protect it. Now, let's compare that to the hood. You were placed in the hood. You're placed in the hood because you're isolated away from the mainstream population because they don't want to deal with you. They don't want you around. So you're placed there. So then now you're supposed to be in that situation that you were placed in. You didn't build those buildings. You didn't have a plan that one day you was going to live in the projects. So what the fuck do you care about a piece of paper on the goddamn floor? And that's reality. They don't have any stake in it. They don't care because there's not. Why should they? It's not theirs. They didn't build it. That's not their vision and their goal for the future. It's the people in the project saying, "Man, my vision and goal for the future is for my children to be here in the projects." Or my vision for the future is for me to be in the projects till I die. Most people are trying to get the hell out of the projects. And if they can't get out, they're trying to get their children out. But they look at it as some place that's undesirable. Now compare that to um, Park Slope in Brooklyn. Compare that to Park Avenue in the city. Compare that to Brooklyn Heights. Well, you see, I said this all the time. White folks is it's amazing when you look in Brooklyn and you see they ain't got a care in the goddamn world. White women are the most smilingest, happiest people on the planet. I see them walking down the street smiling for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Just smiling. That's something I wish that we could experience one day. I really do. I really wish we could experience that one day where they just smiling like, oh, damn, it's just good to be black. Carla said this in the show last night. And like I said, I felt like I want to give Carla a hug because he was so on point. He said, white people say, they get up in the morning and they say, damn, it's good to be white. Thank God. Thank God I'm white. Wouldn't it be nice to live in a society that we built where we had our hands in the development of it and say, damn, it's good to be black? And you tell me a militant integrationist is going to say that in America? When is a militant integrationist ever going to say in America, oh, damn, it's good to be black? When is a Black Power American ever going to say in America, damn, it's good to be black, a black man in America? I mean, even they know they are never going to be able to say that. That's what makes this whole thing so ridiculous.
My bad. I want to. Mr. Team Solutions just made a comment that's pretty profound. He said, "White women got more options than anybody. She can marry into money in just about any race." Is that why she's smiling and whistling Dixie? Hold it.
That is among, yo, Dinas, I'm gonna tell you a story.
Go ahead.
This is crystallizes everything that we're talking about. I was on 14th Street with my lady,
Mm-hmm.
and we were walking down the block. This white girl was on a cell phone. Everybody else stood because the light was red. She kept walking with the cell phone in her hand. She didn't even care about the cars because she knew they were going to stop. That shit bugged me out. And I'm telling you, she had no fear of a car coming and hitting her. She was just walking like, I'm a white girl. What? You ain't gonna hit me. That's real. And nobody did. They stopped, let her go past, and while everybody else is waiting at the red light, they let stop the cars and let her go across the street. And then when she went and when she was on the sidewalk, the cars kept going. And everybody waited until the green light. The walk sign came. That's what it's like being white in America. I tell you another thing. Remember, it's this dude. I think it's Ronald Reagan's son. He's a right wing host.
Hmm.
Supreme Sabaz. Why are you calling me out, man? I was trying to be sneaky with it. He caught me. But his name something Reagan. Kyla will probably know who it is. This guy said on the radio. He was talking about. I forget the guy who he was talking about, but he was one of these conspiracy theory guys or whatever, or a liberal. He said on the radio, "I want anybody to see this guy to shoot him. I'll give you the bullets." Now, could you imagine? So imagine if you or me said that on this live stream about some white host that we was like, we want you all black people to go out there and kill this dude. And I'll give you the bullets. If you get caught, I'll get the lawyer for. Can you imagine what would happen to us?
Rikers Island.
Exactly. This guy commits. He actually goes out and threatens murder on somebody. And do you know what the collective response to it was?
No big deal. No big deal.
Nothing. Nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. I was a little bit passionate. Really? Could me and you use that as an excuse?
No.
So let's kill this argument once and for all. If you're in America, if you're an American, what that means is that you're a white male or woman. That's a real American. You are just an American citizen. You just happen to live here. And this is why when people want to question me on my lack of enthusiasm or patriotism over America and how I keep constantly dogging America, I said I just tell them the truth. The fact is, I'm here because of a series of circumstances that I had absolutely nothing to do with. So I don't have any sentimentality to this place. I don't have any affection toward it. And especially when I'm looking at my history and I know my history and I know what you've done to my people in the past. I know what you did to my people right now. And I know what you're doing to them or planning to do to them in the future. So, I don't want to take it to the level that I want to take it to on your show. I'm going to respect the show
No. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
because I told everybody, and I mean this. Who was he talking to?
Who?
You are a coward and disrespectful to your enslaved ancestors. So it would be more respectful to them to have affection for the place that enslaved them. Or unless that's not directed at me. Is that directed at somebody else? So by honoring my ancestors, it will be to worship and praise the place that enslaved them. And that makes sense to you? I mean, even the Black Power American don't do that.
Mm.
They fought for. Oh, Daniel Kyle's corrected him. Yeah, let them regulate. The chat room is so. I was gonna say the reason why I brought up the chat room. I was gonna say on that show that I was very proud of the chat room because they asked all the questions that I couldn't ask. You know?
No, but that question, that comment was directed towards us, actually.
Okay. No, I'll let Bell, you know, I trust you completely. So whatever decision you make is fine with me. I'm, I'm good. But where were we going? Oh, we did. That was in the number one, right? Oh, did we cover that? The who is we enough sufficiently? Everybody, do y'all understand? How do you create solutions for a we, us, and our that doesn't exist? That's number one.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, I'll post it back in the chat room so we can have a.
But hold up. There's this idea that we're gonna. Oh, here we go. How do you feel about the spook that sat by the door? Logic.
Oh.
We're gonna sneak into the Republican Party or Democratic Party and just take over and hijack.
That's a nice segue into number two, critical error. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
the number two critical error that Black Power Americans make is they provide individual solutions for systemic problems. And what you just described there is an individual solution. Let me ask you a question. When a Chinese spy comes and infiltrates into the American government
Right.
and he plays the spook that sat by the door, literally,
Mm-hmm.
gets into the government and infiltrates at the highest levels of the government and gets all this top secret information. And once he gets it, who does he report the information back to?
China, his land.
Oh wow. What does the spook who sat by the door, who does he give the information back to once he obtains it?
Uh,
Himself? So what? He's a solo spy for himself?
right, right.
You're a solo spy with not connected to no nation, not getting any support, but you all of a sudden you moving the chess pieces around by yourself.
Right.
Why is it that we always think that the individual is what is going to be the solution to a systemic problem? Why? Like I made the point on my show before, like if you feel that the white man is poisoning food, and that's a systemic problem because he controls the food source that comes into your neighborhoods. So your solution to that systemic problem is grow some tomatoes in your backyard.
I need you to expand on that for me.
Every single person has to have a green thumb in the nation in order for that problem to be solved. So everybody got to become, get into get into growing shit. Some people don't like fucking around with dirt. What about them who
And
don't
then,
care about growing
hey,
shit?
did you hear about the case about the how I guess this seed company was selling black farmers fake seeds?
Oh yeah, it's probably meant Monsanto. They into all types of crazy shit.
No, it was some other company, but they were they had this like farmer expo. And so one company was selling, black farmers like fake seeds. It was wild.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Mhm.
But you get my point, right? It's like we and I gotta use, and I don't want to keep ragging on these though dudes, but I have to use that as an example because it's the clearest example that I can give. Hidden Colors. Hidden Colors is a great series. Is in terms of you learning about how the system works and how white supremacy works and how we're fighting this system of white supremacy. It's excellent. Excellent. I would highly recommend it for people who are new to this and don't really know about this stuff. Watch Hidden Colors. It's great. My only problem is because I'm coming from a situation where most of that information I already know about. But my problem is when you get to the solutions part of all like that information, they throw socioeconomic and political um problems all in the lap of the person who's listening to that video. So we're talking about the medical industry. We're talking about the military. We're talking about politics. We're talking about economics. We're talking about education. Just go down the line of all of the institutions in America alone, run by white supremacy. And then when you get to now, after they give you all of this stuff, throw it in your lap and tell you how the whole goddamn world, Thanos is against you. He got all the gems and he's against you with the gauntlet. And at the end of it, your answer to those people is, well, good luck, nigga. Right?
Right.
I mean, because if somebody else could tell me what the other solution is, what is it? So you're going to go and give these people and let them know that the system is against them. And then you're going to tell them about homeschooling their children, something that individuals have to do. And I want to know how you're going to homeschool your children when you're holding down 2, 3 jobs and trying to teach them shit that you don't even know. How you going to homeschool your kids on trigonometry and you don't even know it? How you going to homeschool them on chemistry and science and stuff that you don't even know? And why are we leaving that up to the individual to do? Because we keep avoiding the collective. We keep avoiding organization. And I'm going to tell you this. I said this before. All of these kill whitey niggas, all these people that's so amped up to fight, I don't believe you. You need more people. I'm saying you full of shit. Because if you don't have the energy to organize, you ain't got the energy to fight. I'm calling you on that bullshit. So all these guys talking that tough Tony shit, you ain't gonna fight no white man or anybody else because you can't even organize amongst yourselves. You can't even click on a fucking link to go to the BAIO and be around people who's of like mind who want a nation. But yet you gonna go to war with the white man? What you gonna do? You're gonna take a break. Like in the middle of the war, what you gonna do? You're gonna take a break and go to McDonald's? You're gonna call a timeout and go to Popeyes? Where's your supply routes? Who's arming you? You're gonna call a timeout and then go get some guns from the white man so you can go and fight him? These guys are full of shit. And if you notice, the pattern is this: everybody wants to avoid organization. Nobody wants to organize. Nobody wants to actually have a tangible and concrete we, us, and our. But they always want to talk about it in some vague, abstract terms. Like I said, I hope that the people keep asking these questions to these people because eventually it's going to catch on. Who the fuck is we, nigga? Who are you talking about? And that's what I want to ask. Like anybody that comes with these solutions, talking about, oh, you guys need to do this and you need to, who are you talking about? Because I can show you that it doesn't exist. Even Yvette Cardinal knows that. And me and her don't agree on practically anything.
Mm.
But she knows this. She knows that we are fucked up here in this country.
Mm. Black folks ain't got no money. Black folks ain't got no money. Shoot, black folks ain't got no money. What is we gonna do? What is we gonna do? Black folks ain't got no money. I got the data right here. I got the data. See, I study all this. I got the data. Black folks ain't got no money.
And then right after that, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat, y'all. Make sure y'all continue to contribute to the super chat. I mean, I know y'all ain't got no money, but continue to super chat. Black folks ain't got no money, but y'all, thank you for the super chats. I got the data. I got the data. I do this. I study this. I got the data. Sue, ain't nobody bringing this data to y'all like me. I got the data.
Right. She reminds me of the same, like when I talk about people who they want to analyze your ass kicking and then pat themselves on the back because they were able to
Right, they
break
got the
you down.
Yeah, see, this is what happened. You take an uppercut, You took them uppercuts. It got your ass knocked out. I got the data. You was knocked out in the first round, 30 seconds. I got the data right here. You ain't got no business fighting that man. No business. And there's really ain't nothing you could do about it unless he tie his hand behind his back and blindfold himself. Then you get back in the ring then. Because I got the data.
There it is, folks.
Hey, y'all, get the likes up. Please hit that like button. We got 153 people watching and only 69 likes. Because I got the data. It's only 152 people watching, 69 likes. What's wrong with y'all? See, black people ain't got no keyboards. That's what it is. Y'all ain't got no keyboards and no mouses. See, y'all watching this for some, I don't know how y'all watching this, but y'all ain't got no keyboards and no mouses. That's why y'all likes ain't up. Get the likes up. I got the data.
Oh my God. Oh my God, man. That's classic. Black folks ain't got no fingers. How they gonna type?
How you gonna hit the like button? You ain't got no mouse. Black folks can't afford no mouse. So we waiting on these government to give us these mouses to hit these likes. What's wrong with y'all? I got the data. All the data.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Bear with me, Dynas.
All right, everybody. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Shout out to In the Red Bell for the super chat. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the support, everybody. I really, really appreciate y'all. I'll be going to Nigeria here in about 2-3 weeks, and your donations to the Search for Who Ministries is gonna assist me in traveling more and documenting and getting you guys that firsthand information and experience as I travel throughout Africa. So thank you so much for supporting the Search for Who Ministries, and thank you so much for all those who are interested in joining the BAIO. Bell, if you could cue the link to the BAIO, please join if you're interested about building. I appreciate it. So thank you so much. Hold up, you there? Okay, I think you put us on hold. Be sure to find some pyramids in Nigeria. I don't think there's any periods in Nigeria. I don't think there's any periods in Nigeria. No, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We are not done yet. We're gonna keep this thing going. Just I think
I'm back.
Okay, go ahead, hold it. The
back.
floor is yours. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
So I think did I post the number? Okay, let me put the number one because we're gonna go through this. I want to make sure everybody gets it. So this is number one critical error I'm putting in the chat room. Number one, who is we? These are questions that we need, our people need to start asking these black talking heads so that they don't take us down these dark alleys that we're continuing to keep going down. How do you create solutions for a we, us, and our that doesn't exist? And if they say, oh, well, it does exist, you tell them, no, it doesn't, because we don't have no socioeconomic and political power. We don't have any representatives. We don't have any government. So it doesn't exist. We're just a scattered group of individualists aligned by aesthetic similarities. If we look the same and everybody treats us the same because we're black. And if you want to call that a nation, if you want to call that an organized group, then you really seriously need to get your head out of your ass. I mean, at least the BAIO is trying to organize us. I'm not even saying that we are organized yet, but we're trying. We're trying to form some connections. So that's number one. Number two, which we touched on. Do I need to touch on that some more, Donna? As you let me know, the individual solutions for systemic problems.
I mean, by all means, go ahead. I mean, the floor is yours.
But I mean, do you understand what I mean? Like, do you think I need to provide any other examples? Is there anybody that doesn't get what I mean when I talk about how the conscious community and no, I won't say the conscious community,
Yeah, like
Black
I mean, you
Power
brought up the
America.
example of like hidden colors. As far as solution is, Negro, figure it out yourself.
Yeah, figure it out. Good luck, nigga.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we've covered that.
Good luck. Good luck with that system of white supremacy because I ain't gonna give you no nation to combat it. You
Hmm.
on your own, nigga. So, and I made this point in the video, Dynas. If your position is that we should, like, because a brother had said in one of the videos that I had did on a show, nationhood ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. And I said, okay, no problem. If nationhood is not gonna happen, then this is what's happening. Black folks is gonna come to the conclusion if there is no we, there is no us, and there is no our. What the fuck am I walking around concerned about everybody else for? I need to be concerned about my own black ass. That's what's going on right now.
Right.
That's the results of you not coming up with any type of systemic solution to a systemic problem. People are going to say that this vague abstraction that you keep referring to doesn't really fucking exist. So then why should I be a part of it? Why should I be a part of it? Let me just do me. And then we're going to get mad. And then this is the thing that really kills me. What's a sellout? Can somebody answer that for me? What is a sellout? People keep using that word sellout. Oh, this one sold. Sold out what? What do we have in place that you can be a sellout to? I would love to have like if I could clearly identify what a sellout is, I would love it.
I would say selling out the best interests of your people because you've quit, basically. You don't
So you
have
talk
faith
about
in your people.
Captain America Negroes.
I would say Jesse Lee Peterson. I think Jesse Lee Peterson's just hustling. That's what I think he's doing. What do you think? I think he's just hustling.
Jesse Lee Peterson?
Yeah, I think he's just hustling.
Um, it's a possibility because what makes me believe that is that he just says some stuff that's this classic. He says stuff that he knows is going to get a reaction. It doesn't seem like it's organic or it's
Right.
authentic.
I think he's just
Yeah,
hustling.
like he knows if you make a statement like you ain't a real man until you pick some cotton, he's actually he's trying to get a response and a reaction from that.
Yeah.
Black people is lucky that they were enslaved so that we don't
Right.
have to go back to Africa. He's just saying that because he knows it's going to piss people off and he thinks he's going to get some energy off of it. So I think I'm more leaning toward that.
It has to be.
Yeah, because I don't believe that he's a genuine person.
Has to
I
be.
don't believe he's genuine. I do believe Sheriff Clark is genuine.
Oh, he's definitely genuine. No question.
That dude is not playing. He hates black people. He is dead. So you better not be in no situation where you in his town and he's running anything black folks, because your ass could possibly be out of here.
Right.
Who is this Shaka? Shaka Y is asking me where are my points. I thought that's what I was doing.
He just
What am I missing?
you just put two of them in the you just put them in the chat room. That's what we're discussing.
Yeah. What is he talking about?
I mean,
Because I would be glad to do that if
I think Shaka's just late or distracted. It's okay, but
okay.
we'll continue. We'll continue. Go ahead.
All right. So individual solutions to systemic problems. Um, Oh, to get back to the sellout thing, the reason why I say that we really don't have it clearly defined is that even with the Jesse Lee Petersons in them, we don't have anything tangible and concrete that we can hang our hat on. Because some people, it's too vague in terms of what we don't have any. Like everybody keeps talking about be on code. I really wish somebody would tell me what the damn code is. What does that mean, code? I keep hearing it. Be on code. What is the code? How can I be on it if I don't know what it is? Is there any clear and concise code that we follow as a people? So this is why I say, like, of course, it's easy to like Jesse Lee Peterson and Sheriff Clark and the rest of these dudes is easy targets. That's like low hanging fruit for me. But I think the bigger issue is how can we have a code of conduct if there is no we? I guess that's the best way to put it.
Hmm.
There is no we. So what we are you referring to? We say our code of conduct. We don't have one because we don't have anything organized. Nothing is organized for the collective. You are out here on your own. I want to be clear about this. The Black Power American, the militant integrationists, all of these dudes, they don't have any solutions for you, and they don't have any solutions for our people as a collective. I saw Imhotep's book. Bakala said that code or culture or we had to be built from the ground up. Where are you going to build it? And I actually had saw Imhotep on one of my shows. Like I forget which year it was, but he actually when he just got through and he completed that book, which I like the book. I would suggest y'all get that book, The Bakala of America. Um, the premise of it that he's saying that African Americans are a tribe. And he
Right.
came up with a name for it called the Bakala. I would suggest the book.
Well, Professor Smalls also says the same thing as well.
Right, right. I mean, we gotten into some issues, but it's really petty. I don't want to get into that. I would say I wouldn't have a problem with anybody getting that book and purchasing it. So I ain't got no issues with Assam Hotep. Now the last one. I know, Kala, don't start. Don't start. We're gonna be nice. The last and the most critical, and you guys who know me already know what I'm about to type in this chat room. I know that my girl Belle knows, and she probably already typed it before I do. But this is number 3. Boom. Number 3 is no end game, and I have in parentheses, what is the black agenda? This is something that the Black Power American will not be able to answer because there is no end game for the Black Power American. The Black Power American has turned our struggle in America into a fetish. That's what it really is for them. It's a fetish. It's a Batman versus the Joker relationship. And you remember what the Joker said to Batman at the end of The Dark Knight? He said, this is what happens when an irresistible force meets an immovable object. He said, I feel me and you can do this forever. You won't kill me because of some misguided self-righteousness, and I won't kill you because you're just too much fun. This is what's going on with black people and white people here in America. It's a Batman versus the Joker relationship. It's a Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Remember that movie?
Yeah. With the couple, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, right?
Right. I remember one of the parts in the movie that I thought was the best, and I should probably use that clip to exemplify the relationship between white people and black people. It was a scene where he's in an elevator and she's controlling something that allows the elevator to go down and crash to the ground and kill him. What she doesn't know is that he's not on the elevator that she's controlling. He's somewhere else. So she pushes the button, and after she pushes it, she realized what she did, and she goes to get up like, to try to stop it, but it's too late and the elevator crashes down to the ground. So she's in the restaurant crying over the loss of this guy who she thinks is dead, and drinking and sipping on some wine. And then he walks up to her and sits down at the table. And then the game starts all over again.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's not about anything but the chase itself. Oh God.
Oh God, what happened? Well, D up, my Senegalese brother. Come on, my Senegalese Gambian brother. I mean,
Tell
come on.
me what I said that's false, Diop. Tell me what I said that's false. I want you to type it in the chat room and tell me anything that I said since I've been on this line that's been false. Tell me how my analysis is wrong. I'll be waiting. These guys are clowns, man. It's so hard for me to deal with these clowns. And the thing about it is, here it is, and I'm telling you the three critical errors that the Black Power Americans make.
Right.
The three critical errors. I've put them in the chat room. Refute them. Tell me how I'm off. Tell me how I'm wrong. But see, this is classic Negro stalling tactics. Classic, because whenever it's always something to try to derail us from the truth, try to derail us from the solutions, or try to derail us from actually critically thinking and analyzing what's actually happening, and then we get caught off on some other BS. And I honestly don't expect any answers to any of my questions from these clowns because they have no answers. So let's go on. No end game. When you go to any BAIO member and you ask them what is the black agenda, you know what they're going to say? Land, infrastructure, nationhood. 3 words, very short, very concise. Everybody can understand it. It actually gives you a goal. That's the end game. The end game is nationhood. The end game is us controlling, having full and complete socioeconomic and political control over the context of our reality. That's the end game. That's about as clear, concise, and concrete as you can get. Now ask Diop what the end game is.
Diop, what's the end game? Diop, if you're there, please in the chat room post your end game, please. Please type in your end game. Thank you.
And you please let me know when he does. Because I can predict, I'm like you said, Negro Domus. My Negro Domus prediction is there's going to be another, there's going to be another distraction or an insult.
Well, Belle kicked him out the chat room, so it was all
Oh,
good.
she did. All right. Well, I guess we'll never know.
All right. So Admiral Medjay says, "At Holip, blacks won't do what's good for them. At least you force them to. I'm a strong believer in the Italian mob technique. Fuck with us, then get wrecked."
Yeah. I mean, I would love it when we got to the organizational point where, you know what? I'm thinking, should I say this in the chat room? I'm really thinking about this. Because I was going to provide an example, because I made the statement on my show a couple of times that I can solve police brutality in 30 days in the black community. And people say, what, 30 days? What are you saying? And I said, it's really an in-house discussion. It really is. Because it's not puritanical. And it's more operating on the principle of the Yakuza, the triad, the mafia, the every ethnic group, every group has some people in it that will regulate when you fuck up.
Right.
And everybody knows this, so that's the reason why they're careful with the slick shit that they say out of their mouths or the things that they do. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube, but I ain't never seen a video of a cop in Bensonhurst beating down an Italian in Bensonhurst. I have yet to see that ever. I have yet to see a video of an Italian mobster being thrown to the ground and handcuffed. Haven't seen it. I ain't seen no mobsters thrown to the ground and handcuffed. Period. But uh, you know what? I can't speak about it vaguely. I won't be specific. Let's just say some young person in our community or an elder or someone in our community is executed by the police.
Right.
Um this is where I think, like, if we were truly organized, like, all the things that people have a problem with wouldn't be a problem if we were an organized people. Like, the church would actually be very effective if we were organized. If the church had a nationalist mentality, or the church realized that they were actually a part of a nation, I think it would be a transformative church. I think it would be the type of church that we've never seen before. I really believe that land infrastructure nationhood is like the fertile soil. And if you have that as your fertile soil, what you produce is going to be functional. It's not going to be dysfunctional like it is in a society or a situation that you don't control. So, with that being said, let's say that that cop who actually did that was found hanging from a light pole. You know what we should do? We should get the church, and the church should get together, and they should go to that cop's funeral, and they should bring flowers, and they should pray for the family, pray for the cop, and they should disown and denounce the violence in the community that caused that cop to die. That's what they should do. Then another cop does something, and that cop is found somewhere. Here comes the black church again, denouncing the violence. We do not approve of this. At some point, when the cops see the church coming, they're gonna start getting scared. Because in their mind, they're gonna be like, well, wait a minute, hold on, something's going on here. But on the surface, we're totally against that. You know what I'm saying? And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that. But we can't do stuff like that because we're not organized. We're not organized. So until we have an organized structure, we can't even talk about strategies and tactics and what we need to do. You know, but nothing is ever up front. Like, my basic point with that whole thing is, um, nobody is ever up front with their violence. They always put a nice, pretty face on it. You know, but but the undercurrent of that, everybody knows that this is a violent people, and they will fuck you up if you do something to them. But it's never known. It's not put out there for public consumption. You know, I hear you. I hear you, son of knock. That's why I didn't get into any specifics. But you understand the concept. So that's all that's needed. You get it. Everybody in this chat room knows what I'm talking about. But we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about it. We all know what time it is. But to get back to the end game, in chess, there's 3 stages of chess. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There's the opening, there's the mid game, and then there's the end game. You can't beat anybody. You can't beat a real chess player if you don't have an end game. You can have a fantastic. There's some people's end game that's so good that they don't even care about the opening or the mid game. Because they say, well, I didn't have a really good opening. My mid game is kind of sketchy, but my end game is fantastic. So I'm going to win this game ultimately. You cannot play this game if you only have 1 or 2 aspects of it, but you totally missing the third. And the third is one of the most important, if not the most important. You got to have an end game. You have to have a goal. You have to have an agenda. And this is the thing that you keep. If you ask the militant integrationists and you ask the Black Power American, What is the black agenda? I've been asking that question for 20 years. That is that question. Anybody in this chat room, if you're in any of these forums or you listening to any of these Negroes, if you ask what is the black agenda, that would be like dropping a Scud missile in the conversation. It would be like dropping a weapon of mass destruction. I asked that question. You remember? I don't know who's from New York in here, but Kiss before they got sold to ESPN, because now Kiss is now some fucking sports station.
Mm.
They used to have a show that came on Sunday called The Open Line. And the Open Line was filled with militant integrationists, basically. It wasn't a whole lot of national. It was like maybe 2 militant integrationists and a Black Power American. But I'll take what I can get because we don't have nothing, Dynas. We have nothing. That's why people are so attracted to these forums, because it's like a breath of fresh air. Where else you going to hear this information? So I used to record the open lines because I used to listen to the conversations and whatever. So they had like a little widget where every show would archive and it go right to the widget. Every show. I called in and finally made it to a show, and they were having this discussion on black schools and whatever. And I asked the question, and it wasn't no back and forth or anything. I came in and said, why don't we why are we always talking about trying to transform the school system? Why don't we have our own schools?
Because it makes too much sense.
Do you know that was the only open line show that didn't archive? And I called them up asking questions. I said, well, wait a minute. I download every show that you guys do. How come this show? Oh, we had some technical difficulties. On every single goddamn show except the one that I asked the question about having your own. I just found that that I just thought that was funny, man. That's a Scud missile, man. That's a WMD. When you ask these Negroes what is their end game, they are not going to have an answer to that question because they have none. But black nationalists and African-centered progressives, we do have one, and we have a BAIO. And our end game is land, infrastructure, and nationhood. And if anybody asked us, any member who's got half of a brain in their head and the ability to understand anything, what is the black agenda? Each and every one of them is going to say that. So there it is. Those are the top 3 critical errors of Black Power Americans, broken down. I hope I did a good job, Dynas.
You did an excellent job. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Do we have any questions in the chat room?
Yes, please.
Any questions? Or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, ask me.
But everybody, thank you again for joining us, and thank you, Holip, for coming on. We appreciate the super chats. We appreciate the support.
Are we cutting out?
No, not yet. I mean, we're not.
Oh, okay.
Not
Okay,
yet,
good.
not yet. I'm just kind of telling everybody, thank you.
Because I'm good, man. I don't work tonight. I'm straight.
Yes. Here we go. My question is, how do we spread the code and end game without alerting white elites? I guess this is the spook who hid behind the door kind of narrative or question. Or what do you think?
I don't understand the question. Maybe I'm.
How do we make moves without alerting Thanos?
Alerting him to what though? Like I don't understand. I really don't understand what they mean. Like what moves are we making that Thanos has to do?
I mean, it's just okay. So you had the FBI director Hoover. Was it Hoover? J. Edgar Hoover? Is that his name?
Yeah.
He had we have to get rid of the Black Messiah or whatever. So it was kind of hard to make moves without alerting certain organizations.
Oh, well, if that's the example that you're using, the answer is we don't have a Black Messiah. There's no Black Messiah to eliminate.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the, I mean, am I answering the person who asked the question? Did I answer that properly, or am I missing the question that you actually want to get me to answer? Because I'm not quite understanding what you mean by does the authorities being alerted to what? I mean, the BAIO exists, and if they want to know that that people are in the BAIO and talking about nationhood, I really don't see what is what's the problem with that. Like, why would that be something to be afraid of? I don't know.
All right,
He
but
said, no, you're missing my question. Is
no,
it
that's
who asked the question?
no, I think that was somebody else that asked the question, but Olive Kid, where's your question at? No, 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 that is his question. That was his question. You answered it. Like, what do you mean, Olive Kid 100?
Well, maybe. Well, I didn't really understand what he was talking
Well,
about, so maybe you can break it down a little bit more.
you answered it. Basically, paranoid people want to know. They just don't want Thanos to come get us. I guess they're afraid of Thanos.
Well,
I mean, I just that's the best way I could.
yeah, I guess. I mean,
If I join the BAIO, you know, which is online, which is probably being monitored anyway,
right.
they just want to make sure that Thanos doesn't come and get them.
There would have to be a reason for Thanos to come and get you, and who would he like come and getting you would do what to the BAIO?
Nothing.
It would just be an individual that they got, and what are they going to hold against it? You're talking about nationhood, like yeah, nigga. So,
Yeah, exactly.
like, you know what? Let me address this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I Everything that I talk about online, I can talk about offline, and I can talk about it openly and freely.
There we go. Absolutely.
You know, like
Mhm.
I'm not one of these people that believe in whispering under your voice because I'm not saying anything that's wrong. If I'm saying something that's violent, if I'm saying something that's illegal or something like that, then I can understand the people being paranoid about being associated with my message. But I can justify everything that I say. I told Kala, he was on my live stream, and I said that I can go on a pay-per-view network. I can go on broadcast television and say fuck America.
Right.
And if anybody wants to question me on it, I can answer the question and I can defend myself by why I could. How could you say that? I can defend myself and make that statement and not be shy to do it. So I don't believe in this sneaking around and all this other crap. No, stand on truth. If you're standing on truth and what you're doing is righteous and just, why are you afraid of Thanos? I don't get that. If
Hmm.
they get an idea of how we will get economic empowerment, they might try to destroy those moves. They're already trying to destroy us. As a matter of fact, they've gotten so they've managed to um, have us so thoroughly divided that we're not really even a factor in. They don't think about black people. Black, see, this is the thing that I want black people to understand. A lot of times, unless you're really talking about poor white, because if you notice all of these stories with people calling cops on black as poor white trash, those people that probably got a problem with you because they suffering the brunt of being sold out by their own people here in America. So they need somebody to look to as a scapegoat for the reason why they are fucking losers and
Right.
can't get a job. So they need to look at you as the problem.
What
But
did
most,
was it Nixon or Lyndon B. Johnson saying I'll have the poorest white man look? I mean, I have the poorest white man feeling better than the richest black man or something like that.
yeah, exactly. So, but white people with money don't hate you. You're just irrelevant to their existence.
All right.
They don't think about you. You're not a factor. And this is the reason why I take the position that I don't care about white people. I don't center white people around my reality. They are not the nucleus of my atom. So when people ask me, what do you feel about white people? I'm like, I feel the same way about white people that white people feel about me. Nothing.
Hmm.
There's not a white person here that's asking, yo, I wonder if Holip has his lights on tonight. Is he warm in his house? Is do you think he got his belly full? Did he get something to eat? They don't give a shit. And I feel the same way about them. I don't care. That's why I'm in this chat room talking to my brothers and my sisters and on this show. So I talk to y'all because I care about y'all. I love y'all. I'll talk and we can have discussions and go back and forth all day long. But white folks, I don't think about white people. White people are irrelevant to my existence. And if we do what we're supposed to do, what we're doing in the BAIO is we're doing it in a nonviolent way. We're not being confrontational. As a matter of fact, nobody even talks about white people in the BAIO. You know, it's always confusing. Like I said that when the Million Man March happened, it's like, I was asking, why are you upset, white man? It has nothing to do with you. What do you have? Why do we care what your thoughts and opinions about the Million Man March is? These people want to be, like I said, this is a trick that white folks play, and they play this game on with the America thing. When you want to have a club, if there's anybody out here who's ever had a club or ever had parties that they did, there's a strategy and a tactic to get people to come to your party and to make your party popping. And one of the things is to make your party exclusive. If everybody can't get into it, then it gives it value. And this is what white people have done with America. They want to make America exclusive. Like, oh no, not everybody can. You remember what they did with credit cards before? They made it so hard to get a credit card, and
Right.
then they came and said they went to the college students and they said, hey, come here. Yeah, I know it's going to be hard for you to get a credit card, but I'll hook you up. And what happened?
Credit got fucked up.
Because that's what they wanted them to do to begin with. They wanted you to have that goddamn credit card.
Hey, listen, we'll give you a $300 limit.
Right.
Still ain't paid it. Credit fucked up.
They want you to be in debt. So they wasn't trying to prevent you. That was just a strategy and a tactic to get you to get the card. And it's the same thing with America. They want to make America like this big deal. Fuck America. America is a shithole. Why are you? I'm going to go into, and then people talking about race war. I'm going to go to a race war for America. What am I going to win? Let's say I win the race war. What do I get? What's my prize? Iowa? Nebraska? That's my prize for this race. I'm going to put my people I'm going to put my people at risk of getting killed and shot and murdered. And at the end of it, I get Iowa. Really? This is how important you think this place is? You know what black folks in America is like? Diane, you could probably relate to this.
Go ahead.
You ever been to the club and at the end of the club, at the end of the day, when they want everybody to get out, they put on the wackest ass music that they can find and they turn on the lights.
Mhm.
And what do you have? You have people still dancing on the dance floor.
Right.
Every indication is saying, nigga, get the fuck out of the club. The party is over. But niggas still want to be on the dance floor dancing. That's black people in America. And you dancing and think, oh, that's my shit. That's my song. And everybody's like looking at their watch like, when is this nigga gonna get out of here?
Never. Because we built the club and supplied the lights.
Oh, jeez. Any more questions? I want some questions, man. Give me some questions.
All right, so let's see here. Brother Admiral Medjay wants to know, since black people are only 10% of the population in America, roughly, would it make more sense to build in Florida, Georgia, and I think it was another country, another state he mentioned? Would it make more sense to build in Florida, Georgia, and I think he said Alabama?
Build what?
Nation. Build a nation building.
I have some questions before I
Here we go. Since black folks are only 10% of the United population, I think it would be great for blacks to only focus on 2 or 3 states. I was thinking about Florida, Georgia, and Louisiana.
How would you go about doing that? That's my question. Because I don't want to do that. So if somebody wants to do it, I need to know, how do you plan on doing that, since we've had about 400 years to do it and it hasn't been done? How would you build this nation in America?
That's a good question. I guess ask the government. That's the only other way.
And why would you want to have it in America?
Because we's already here.
I think personally, the best strategy for me is to, like, everybody talks about African Americans and Africans on the continent need to work together. I take that literally. I think that the best thing for us to do is to work together on individual projects, African Americans and continental Africans. We need to literally work together. Because when you work together and you build something and that something becomes successful, then oh wow, this relationship actually works for both parties involved. See, I'm not into this hat in hand bullshit. I don't believe that we're coming with our hat in like, because when you hear a lot of these Black Power Americans who are against nationhood, they say, well, what can you offer Africa?
Right. You guys ain't built nothing in America. What can you offer Africa?
What can you offer Africa? Africa needs this. Africa needs that. Da, 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 da. Listen, Americans,
Or
African
Yvette Cornell,
Americans.
or Yvette Cornell. Black folks ain't got no money. Shit, black folks can't keep a house here in America. Did you see the foreclosure crisis? See, I got the paperwork. I got the data. I looked at the data. Black folks can't build no home in Africa, and black folks gotta have no home in America. I got the data. You there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. But I mean, I have to really ask the person who asked that. I don't know who asked it, but I have to ask them.
Admiral Medjay.
Is he being sarcastic? That admiral asked that? He must be being sarcastic.
Nah, he's serious.
He's serious?
Right. Admiral serious. That's my buddy. That's my buddy. That's my friend.
Admiral actually thinks that we can build a nation in America?
I mean, he suggested Holip. It was just a suggestion.
Oh, okay. He doesn't really
it was
believe
just a
it.
suggestion.
Okay.
It was
He
a
doesn't really
suggestion.
believe it. That's cool.
He said why? Why not go that route? That's all.
Oh, okay.
So I see we got.
Oh, okay. You know what? All right. Bell just said something, and I get the feeling that okay, now I understand. I understand. Anything that happens anywhere, not America included, would be a satellite nation to the nation state. So thinking that you're going to have the satellite nation before you actually have the nation is putting the cart before the horse. See, if you have your nation state and your base of operation established, then you can have a direct line of trade with the continent. So all of the things that people want to do can be accomplished here in America as long as you have the nation state in place. You have to have your base of operations off the shores of this place. Anybody who thinks that you're going to have your base of do I have to give the definition of the base of operations? I thought that was self-explanatory.
It is, but it's not. I mean, to some. But if you want to go in and give the definition,
what's the best example?
I mean, we
why don't you have? All right, here's one dynamic. Why don't you and your family go and live at your job?
Some people do.
Yeah, just live at your job. Don't have your own home, whether be it an apartment or a house. Just have you and your kids and your wife. Just live at the job. Does that make any sense? Your home is your base. That's your base of operations. That's where your family is. So how do you? So we not supposed to have that? So we're gonna be here. Like, does China have a base of operations? Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
called China.
India, China, absolutely.
All of these groups have a base of operations. How the hell are you gonna have the base in America? Were you surrounded by the United States, the whole United States military, where the United States enemies are your enemies? You can't even do trade with countries that the United States don't want you to do trade with. What, you're gonna have North Korean trucks on US highways? But if you had your own nation state and you had your own airport and your own seaport, you can do trade with whoever the hell you want to do trade with.
Hmm.
But I forgot, the white man's Thanos. Which leads to my next question. If the white man is if everything that we provide as a solution can be destroyed by the white man,
Why even
then
build? We just
why
why
are we
why
doing
even
these
do this?
shows?
Why even be here? Why even do this?
Right. Why are we doing these shows? Why
I
are
mean,
we fighting this guy? Why are you fighting Thanos if Thanos has the gauntlet and Infinity Stones? Why
I
are you
mean,
fighting him?
Holip, you are in New York, summertime in New York. Just go to Central Park and just hang.
Exactly.
You know,
I'll go to Prospect. And Prospect's like a block away from me.
yeah.
Why are we in a chat room talking about socioeconomic and political issues and land infrastructure, nationhood, and black struggle and power? Why? What are we talking about this stuff for if the white man could just destroy it or snap his fingers and we all cease to exist? I won't even call that a critical error, Dynas.
Yeah.
I won't even call that a critical error. Because I did name the top three, the three critical errors, and I think everybody got it. There were some people that said they didn't, but I posted it
Yeah, you
in
posted
the
everything.
chat room. So those are the three critical errors. All this other stuff basically is just, subcategories of those three critical errors. Yeah, Campbell Cambone says the only solution is to wipe them out. I feel you, Campbell Cambone, and I love Campbell Cambone. Don't get me wrong, love that brother. But like I said earlier, I don't believe that we're wiping out anybody until we get organized. Organized people, when you become organized, that's the litmus test to me, or the indicator that you are serious about doing anything. If you're not, it's like a person on the street saying, I'm gonna whoop Floyd Mayweather's
Right.
ass.
When I see it, hey, hold up. Did you see the in fact, I posted it in the our message group on Facebook. Did you see the fight with the airport employee with the NFL football player and how he got his ass knocked out? The airport employee, the janitor.
Oh no, I saw you posted, but I didn't get a
Man,
chance because
okay.
I was
Are you
doing.
familiar with Pac-Man Jones,
Oh
the
yeah.
football player?
Yeah.
So a dusty janitor employee at the airport tried to pick a fight with them in the airport in the terminal at one of the gates and got his
Mhm.
ass knocked out.
Of course he is, because he's dealing with a professional athlete.
Right.
I mean, come on. It's like I made this another analogy, Dynas. Is a bunch of people, a bunch of guys that you just got out the street, gonna beat the Philadelphia Eagles in a football game?
No.
One team is an organized team. They have coaches, they have trainers, they have equipment, uniforms, organization, structure, discipline. Another one is just a bunch of guys who like football. If you put them on a field with the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to get slaughtered. And the same thing is going to happen to people that want to fight a system with no organization. Good luck with that, nigga. Good luck. That's lunacy. Whenever I hear anybody talking about we need to do this, we need to, the problem is black folks is too scared to fight. No, that's not the problem. The problem is I would be scared to fight if I'm not fucking organized. You're gonna fight an organized team and you don't have no organization? That's not being scared. That's having fucking common sense. Because I think it's safe to say that black folks, there's too many things that black folks do to let you know that they ain't scared. When you go rolling up into a spot that you don't know with guns, with a possibility of your ass getting blasted out, I have a feeling that you're not really that scared. But see, this is very popular rhetoric because what it is that people are trying to prove that they're more realer than the next person.
Right.
That's all it is. You niggas ain't real. I'm real. I do this. I do, and that's another thing. This laundry list of shit that you doing, nigga. With all of this shit
Yeah,
that
I'm in
you
these
doing,
streets. I'm in these
and you
streets.
in these streets, and one of my friends who I love, that's my brother, and I love him. But he said that in the streets line to me, and I said, "Thank you, man. I didn't realize I'm really enjoying all of this freedom because of you being in the streets.
Right.
You think being in the streets is doing something? How come y'all been in the streets for goddamn 60 years and ain't nothing changed? I mean, come on. You're gonna keep doing the same. Listen, I can tell you all of the stages that I've been through in this conscious community, cultural conscious thing. There was things that I used to endorse, things that I used to believe in. But as I started learning more and learning more, my philosophy and my way of looking at things started changing. Everything that I learned before that I thought was just the gospel truth, I learned out was a bunch of bullshit. It's called growing.
Say that again. I mean, some people got to hear that. Somebody got to
Yeah,
hear that again.
it's called growing. See, this is the thing that I made this point before. I used to go to the Slave Theater in Brooklyn. Well, you familiar with that when it was around?
I'm not. In fact, In fact, when I come to New York, I probably won't be up. I won't
Oh,
be.
it's gone now, so you ain't gonna see it. It's gone. It's torn down.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm still coming
but
to New York, but it won't be till October.
okay. Well, we definitely gonna meet.
Okay,
Definitely.
perfect. There we go.
Um, the thing that I liked about the Slave Theater, and this is it was instrumental in my development and in my critical thinking skills because, and I will always give props to Ultimatics for this. Um, he created a forum with the United African Movement where they put faith in the person sitting in the seat. In other words, you didn't go there to be indoctrinated by some philosophy. You learn everything. I can honestly say, Dynas, that I have a little bit of knowledge of just about everything that you can possibly think of. I've had conversations with lawyers who were asking me questions at the end of the conversation. And you're a goddamn lawyer.
All right.
My friend Jelani, who passed, this guy was so smart, he could pass the bar without actually going to law school.
I can believe it.
I know a bunch of people like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So it's like, oh shit. What the? Hold on a second.
And
This
then
thing is messing me up.
when you come back, I got one last question for you.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm just having some technical issues here.
Okay, let's see here. So let's see here. Let's see here.
Okay. What was the question you wanted to ask me?
Let's see. Here's the last question. Shout out to Bell for the super chat again. Last question is, let me scroll back up to it. Lionel wants to know, as an organization, do you think we will get more traction by focusing our land infrastructure nationhood message to our youth and leave the stubborn adults alone?
Yes. Hell yes. Hell yes. And you know what? I won't make a blanket statement and just say adults. I'll say that there's a lot of adults in the BAIO now. There's a lot of adults in this chat room now. A lot of people who are adults who believe in land, infrastructure, and nationhood for their people. I think that rather than making it an age thing, I think that we should talk to people of like mind. You should ask black people that you know, do you think black folks should have a nation of their own? And just see what they say. That's what I do. I'll just ask like random, like in a conversation, you eating lunch with your coworker or whatever, and say, you know what, I was thinking somebody asked me a question about black folks and they all the problems that we have in here in America, and they suggested that we just have a nation of our own. What do you feel about that? And find out. Like people love to tell you how they feel about shit. You know that. And then you get an idea of what mentality you're dealing with. When you hear their answer, you'll know. If they start coming to you with some Turtle Island bullshit, then you know this is obviously
We
not the
are from
person who.
Turtle Island, the
Yeah.
indigenous Moors, Hebrew Israelites, Cherokee, Watashaw Nation. We were already. In fact, I gotta find this video. Keep going. Keep going. I gotta find this video. Keep going.
Yeah, people of like mind, man. I think I
I
think
gotta close out on this, but keep going.
I think that the message that I've been trying to relay to anybody coming into the BAIO and the BIO in general. Yeah, I know that nationhood, land infrastructure nationhood is a serious end game, and it's a serious principle, and everything surrounding it is very serious subject matter. But I think more important than anything else is, do you want to be in a nation with a bunch of bootlicking Negroes? I don't. I want to be in a nation with people of like mind, that people that's interested in building, people that's interested in learning, people that can see the possibilities of our greatness and not just see every goddamn negative thing, before it even happens. The yeah but movement. I don't want the yeah but movement on the continent. Let the yeah but movement stay right here in America. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people. And the only way that you can get that is by doing what the BAIO is doing now. People don't, let's slow it down and do things the right way. The right way is how we're doing it. If you're in a state and there are people in that state with you, and let's say there's 10 people in that state, those 10 people need to get together and learn about each other, know each other. How about instead of doing a discussion about land infrastructure nationhood, have a movie night where 10 BAIO members go and catch a flick together? What's wrong with that? Is that what? Is that's wrong? Like is that too beneath you to do? What's wrong with socializing with each other and getting to know each other? Get so that way, when you actually get to the level where you're building this nation, there are people in place that can be a part of it that you know. So that way, you're not going over to the continent feeling like, oh, I'm on my own ass, like you are here in America. It's called a social network because you need to socialize with people and network with them. And I think that that's more important than everything. That's more important to where the land at, to me. That's more important. I want to know how many people here in America want a nation. What's our numbers? A lot of people don't have. Somebody said the BAI should have meetups in different cities. They are,
We are. In
and
fact,
that's happening.
The Atlanta one's coming soon.
Yeah, that's happening organically. There's BAI folks in Florida, yeah, in Tampa, I believe. The best way to find out is to go to the group, sign up and get in the group. There's no reason not to sign up to the BAIO. I mean, think of all the things that you sign up to where you go to a website and they ask for your email address so you can get some 5 or 10% discount. You signed up for that. You can't sign up to the BAIO? What, that's going to crash your computer if you sign to
Right. Right.
to a site? like the BAIO, that's not requiring you to do anything. It's not requiring you any money from you. It's not taking anything from you.
No, it's gonna tip off Thanos.
Oh, that's what it
Sign
is.
up is gonna tip off
If you
Thanos.
let people know that you are for your own people, Thanos is gonna find out. He gonna fuck you up.
Tip off Thanos.
Thanos is gonna whoop your ass if he find out that you want to do something for your own people. Then you know what, son? If me wanting to do something for my own is a crime, then I am guilty as charged. Come and arrest me and take me to jail. Take me to jail. That's like if you gotta feed your family and you got children in that house that's hungry and your wife is starving, and some nigga outside says if you come outside, he gonna fuck you up. You know what's gonna happen? If you a man, nigga, we gonna roll. And I hope you can back up the shit you saying, because I'm gonna bust your ass to get my family food.
Mhm.
So fuck Thanos. And if you want to use Thanos, the Avengers fought Thanos. They didn't give a shit that he had a glove.
Right, exactly.
In the comics and in the movie, they're like, yo, we gonna fight. So whatever you say you're gonna do, guess what? You're gonna have to do it. And like I said, I'm from Brooklyn, man. Brooklyn is the borough that's known to go anywhere. We used to, if you go, is Brooklyn in the house? I don't give a damn if it's in Westchester. I don't care if it's in the loudest noise is gonna come from Brooklyn, because we'll go anywhere. And our whole thing is, don't talk about it, be about it. If you say you're gonna fuck me up, you're gonna have to show me that shit. Don't put your hand in your pocket and tell me you got a gun. You better pull that shit. And that's real. So fuck Thanos.
Cool. Well, the actual video I'm looking for, I cannot find, bro. But the shit was funny as hell. But next time, there will always be a next time. I'll find it for them. But where can
How
everybody?
long we been on, man?
Huh?
How long we been on?
2 hours.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
2 hours.
crazy.
Goes by fast, man. Goes by fast. But brother Holip, where can we where can we find you, brother?
I'm at Mr. Holipsism on YouTube. Mr. Holipsism on YouTube. Um, that's the best way. Just in the top of the search bar, just type in either Holip Sism, like how you spell it, because
Mm-hmm.
that's how I spelled on my channel. Or you can put it together, or you could just say Mr. Holipsism, and you can find my channel. But what I would really like for you guys to do, if you're in this chat room and you're not a part of the BAIO, I ain't gonna dog you. Now's your opportunity to click on that link and join the BAIO. And we are not rolling out no red carpets and throwing rose petals for anybody. Not happening. Nobody threw no rose petals for me, but I'm in there. I'm in the New York chapter, congregating with my New York brothers and sisters in the BAIO. You know what I'm saying? So join the BAIO site, go to your state chapter. If you're from another country, if the country is not there, because most of the traffic that we're getting from the popular countries in Africa are already in the group. But if there's an African country that's not represented in the BAIO, all you gotta do is let us know and we'll create it. You know, so my thing is, before you even go to my channel, go to the BAIO and sign up, become a member, go to your state chapter, and start congregating with people of like mind. Start getting to know the people in your area that's about the same thing that you are about. And stop being so concerned about where the land at.
Right.
It's not important at this point. It's not important, really. I'm more excited at the fact that people are meeting each other, and we're gaining a lot of momentum in terms of people signing up and talking to each other. I mean, like I said, the PA chapter already had a Google Hangout. They didn't make no big announcements about it. They just did it. so they can meet with each other. It's like I would strongly suggest that if you're in a state chapter, because especially Georgia is huge. So you probably got people that just spread like 2 hours away from each other. Am I right about that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like like Georgia, like my friend in Georgia, Monique, she was like an hour and a half away from me. I'm like, God damn, I thought you was like, in Atlanta or something. She's like, most of the people that live in Atlanta don't actually live in Atlanta.
That's true.
They live outside of the city. And they can be a long distance away from each other. So why not do a Google Hangout like we're doing now? Just do a Google Hangout, set a date. Everybody can meet up and introduce themselves, and who knows, maybe if some people in GA is closer to each other than others, so then those people that's closer can meet, the people that's in the area can meet. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's all we really want right now is we want to get a huge contingency of nationalists in this country together. That's what we want. We want nationalists to actually have a voice. And that's really what we're creating, people, because we're the land people, we're creating that voice and that groundswell. Could you imagine, let's say that the BAIO gets 1 million people. Let's just say hypothetically, 1 million members in the BAIO who's all believe in land infrastructure nation and they want a land of their own. And with 1 million people, all those people are in skilled labor positions. You got architects, engineers, electricians, people who do, there's everything you can possibly think of in the BAIO I've seen. You got people that operate heavy machinery, trucks, and all this other stuff. We got all these professions in here, and these people, now you imagine going to an African country
Right.
with 1 million members, and all of them, well, I won't say, you have a lot of skilled members inside of that million who want to provide those skills to build something. It's like that status that you put, Dynas, I believe you did it this week.
Which one?
Well, you said the first African nation that engages with African Americans is going to become a superpower.
Right.
I believe.
Right.
I'm paraphrasing, but that was basically what you were saying.
Right.
And I believe that. But we need to join. If you're a nationalist, if you believe in nationhood, there is absolutely no reason why you are not signed up to the BAIO. It's inexcusable. Inexcusable. We've created the platform for you to use. Nobody's getting paid by this. Nobody's jerking you by you joining and getting some $5, off the table shit. Nothing's happening like that. It's a free site.
Yeah. No enrollment fees. No.
None of that.
Yeah.
All we want you to do is join and meet with people in your state. So there it is. That's what I suggest.
All right, brother. Well, hey, it was a pleasure. I enjoyed the show. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Holip.
Thank you, brother.
No problem.
And thank you all to people in the chat room. Love you all.
And that wraps up another edition of Search for Huru. Guys, please go to searchforhuru.com, amazon.com, search your name, Dynas Amir. Make sure you go to africapersonified.africa. Also go to Search for Huru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also Africa Personified on those same platforms. Until next time, family, peace.
Peace.